Chapter 10, Reluctance Illustrated, Policy Uncertainty During the Clinton Administration. President Bill Clinton was first elected in 1992 with liberal campaign promises of halving the national deficit, economic reform, and increasing spending on social programs, including health care and welfare. He also promised to end welfare as we know it. As a moderate Democrat, Clinton was less concerned about civil rights. At the beginning of his presidency, both chambers of Congress were controlled by Democrats. Because of his social program goals, Republicans portrayed Clinton as a big spender. One such social program was health care reform. The First Lady Hillary was placed in charge. The reform sought to implement universal coverage to help 40 million uninsured Americans. By his third year, Republicans controlled Congress. Led by Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, the party insisted upon balancing the budget instead of spending money on expensive social reforms. Republicans sought to end entitlement programs such as food stamps, Medicaid, and AFDC to fund tax cuts for the wealthy and increase defense spending. They proposed a strategy of balancing the budget in 7 years by cutting $1.5 trillion. Republicans wanted to limit benefits for mothers and children, minimize federal involvement in social programs by giving power to individual states, and change entitlements to block grants. These changes would end many needed benefits for the poor and neglected to address job placement programs and education. Clinton criticized his plan as weak on work and tough on children. Clinton proposed his own budget that included cuts similar in nature but to a less severe degree. Unsatisfied, Republicans forced Clinton to compromise to avoid government shutdown. The 1996 budget was $23 billion less than the previous year. However, Clinton was able to add $5 billion for education, job training, and the environment. Clinton was re-elected for a second term in 1996 with a focus on the middle class, education, the environment, and healthcare reform. No longer was he focused on welfare reform. The Monica Lewinsky scandal of 98 and 99 made many unwilling to compromise. Issues such as Medicare, Social Security, gun control, and patient rights were left without a final verdict. Clinton was only able to implement limited policy change during his second term. Policies he was able to implement included the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Act of '96, the Mental Health Parity Act, and the Balanced Budget Act. As for women's rights, a large income gap still existed between the genders. Abortion was banned from federal funding except under extraordinary circumstances. The Family and Medical Leave Act of 1903 was only a moderate success. In conclusion, many viewed Clinton as ineffective and lacking strong convictions because of his compromising behavior. Although he was unable to implement most of his liberal initiatives, President Clinton stopped many tax and spending cuts while still ending the national deficit.